Hey everyone, so I just want to give a little bit more about polling. And so, look, what I got is if you go to the 538 page and go to their latest polls, right? You can scroll down here. Hopefully, we're seeing enough of this. But they have a list of polls, and this is what these are the horse race, right? This is horse racing, and we've got, ooh, look, there's a poll that shows Trump's up by one. There's also a poll that shows what? Oh, that's California. Yeah, Harris is up by 31. So, okay. And that's Pennsylvania. All right, Trump up one there. General election polls. Here we go. Uh, Normally what people do is they horse race, right? And they just worry about who's up and down. The thing is, we might want to dive a little deeper, and you can do that, right? So on 538's page, if you click on the name there, you can go to the site and you can go to this is a Substack for whoever South California SoCal Strategies National Poll. And I'm going with this poll because they have some interesting stuff, right? They post a lot, right? They tell you very often this is what you get, right? You go in, you'll get a little, all right, this is the how we did the poll. You'll have the top line comments, right? And they talk about their likely voter model and what they did, right? Blah, 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 blah. Let you read all this. The cool thing, though, they have interactive crosstabs, right? Ooh. So we click on this puppy, and we get, now what are crosstabs? Crosstabs are basically a table. And in this, that show two variables, right? So now we're talking about getting to bivariate. And so basically what they do is in this spreadsheet, they have the questions down here. And in the top question, if the 2024 election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? Right? That's the question. But as we scroll across here, right, you see that we're going to say, okay, so here's the total, right? 47% going to vote for Trump, 49% going to vote for Harris. But then we have, for each variable, we're going to get the breakdown by the variable. And this is the crosstab, right? The part that's in blue, right? And we see that amongst, so amongst women, 41% are going to vote for Trump, 53% for Harris, 6% undecided. Men, 54% for Trump, 44% for Harris, 3% undecided, right? And so that's a crosstab. It breaks things out this way. And as we scroll across, we have age, we have race, we have education level, we have race and education. Because, by the way, one of the things that turns out to be really important is race and college status. And in fact, we can see here in this that if we look at, and it's broken out white, non-white, college, no college, right? And it turns out that white, no college, right? This is the demographic group. White people who did not go to college are the folks that support Donald Trump. And you can see 58% to 38%, 20% advantage. And it's a lot of people. And so this is the core of Donald Trump's support. Meanwhile, amongst non-whites who've gone to college, 67% are in favor of Harris. Amongst non-whites with no college, 55% favors Harris. And amongst whites who went to college, 52% favor Harris, right? And so there's your breakdown. And that is another key crosstab. My whole point here is we can go across and you can scroll across and look at the different crosstabs and get a different insight into who is and isn't saying that they would vote. Because remember, it's not actual vote, it's they're saying they would do it. But this is a kind of an interesting thing, and so I'll have the link for this. Of course, you can find it yourself. They don't all. Why I'm giving you this thing is not all polling sources will give you a nice crosstab like this. But this is really good to see and to start moving in that direction of where we're starting to talk about two variables. who would you vote for if the election were held today? This response to one question and response to other questions, right? How much college do you have? What's your race? And at the very end, the cool one question they ask, would you be comfortable sharing your vote with others? By the way, of the people who say they would be uncomfortable sharing their vote with others, 51% of the people who are uncomfortable are folks who would say they would vote for Harris, as opposed to 37% who say they're going to vote for Trump and 12% who are undecided. So that gives you an idea of comfort levels, right? And so a lot of times there's this question, do we have the shy Trump voters? That was a narrative that might have made sense, or a narrative in 2016. It seemed to me to not make much sense afterwards. But this idea that people know that they'll be belittled if they like Trump, so they're not going to report it, right? Well, we see kind of a reticence, or amongst the people who are worried about telling their vote, a lot of them, majority of them, in this survey, were leaning towards Harris. Do what you want with that, but I'm just saying, this is where we start getting into two variables in correlations, and so that's more how we roll in social science. So hope you find this interesting.